welcome to my channel. I'm a late fire starter. Fire stands for financial independence, retire early, and most people start to get their financial independence, which basically means they don't need a job if they don't want to, and they can go do whatever they want. And there's a lot of principles to that. You can look at that in some of my earlier videos, but basically I started late, so I had to hack it out. And so my two main streams of income that I'm going to rely on for my financial independence are going to be dividend income, which you can see 2 videos ago. I go over all my dividend stocks at that moment. And today what we're going to look at are my rentals. So I'm relying on rental income and dividend income to live financially free and independent. And the question is, how long is it going to take me to get there? I'm about 3 years into the process at this point, and as promised in my earlier videos today, I just want to look at all of my different rental properties, what the costs are, what I'm actually cash flowing, and then we're going to continue to track as these maybe improve or go up. So let's just dive in and look at my spreadsheet that will show you all the different factors that go into my rentals. Okay, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different properties. Okay, I removed the addresses from these properties, which is normally in line 1, just because I don't want you knowing exactly where my properties are, but I will tell you roughly where they are. The first one here is my very first property. This is in Los Angeles, specifically Gardena, California. This is a townhome or a condo. Okay, I pay $1,100 a month for the loan every month on there, and I have an HOA fee of $303. This loan includes my taxes, okay, my property taxes. So those are my large expenses here. I pay about $25 a month in insurance, okay, which is pretty reasonable. Then I want to set aside $110 in the event of a vacancy to build up my reserves, $110 a month in the event of CapEx. Now, CapEx stands for capital expenditure. Capital expenditures are not normal maintenance costs. They're not like fixing the plumbing, if there's a leak. They're not like painting the walls. Capital expenditures are basically the main items, big items, okay? Roof replacement, water heater, HVAC, okay? So basically your air conditioning unit, your heating unit, that kind of thing. It can also include the electrical and the overall plumbing. So if you think about it, any major expense, think maybe $1,000 and above. Okay, those are going to be capital expenditures. The thing about capital expenditures are you always are going to have them. Okay, so a capital expenditure, for example, a roof. You buy a roof, eventually you're going to have to replace that roof. You buy a water heater, eventually you're going to have to replace that water heater. Okay? And so those are bigger expenses that are guaranteed to have to be replaced. So you want to have that money set aside in the event that something happens. Okay? In the event that the roof comes up. And then $110 a month for maintenance. That would be everything from day-to-day fixes, that would be pest control, that would be painting, that would be if a tenant moves out and you need to put new flooring in, whatever it may be. Currently, my rent on the place is $2,310. I will find out actually in a few days here if my increase got approved, because this is a Section 8 rental. This is Section 8, so I just put in for an increase of, I believe, $2,450. I'll have to go check on that. But Section 8 has to approve that. LA County has to approve that. Okay, so based on all these numbers, my cash flow, so that means every month what I make on this particular condo is $552 a month. This hard number here, okay, is when I remove the reserves. So let's say eventually I get to the point where I have enough reserves where I don't need to take this money out and set it aside. Or let's just say I'm in an emergency, let's say COVID hits and I lose my job, which is happening, then I can actually set aside and not worry about the reserves. It's risky, but I'm surviving, right? So when you remove these 3 numbers, My hard numbers, I'm calling them, is I make $882 a month off this one rental. Now that number will go up when this rent goes up, so that could go up to $992, $652. And what'll happen is I'm taking $330 out of this $882 every month and setting aside for the reserves. And that's why it's flexible play money that I can keep or I can put it in the reserves. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, now my next property was actually the second property I purchased. This property was purchased in the summer of 2016. This property was purchased in the end of 2016, very end of the year. I believe I closed actually 2017. Okay, so I have a 30-year mortgage on this one as well, and so this payment includes my taxes, my property taxes as well. So I pay $458.85. Now, this isn't my actual mortgage payment. I pay $100 extra every month to pay off my loan quicker. Okay, but that is included in this price. I do have a property manager, and so the property manager takes 10% of the rents. So currently, right now, the rents are $1,175, so they take $117.50 every month just to manage the property. Utilities, okay. Even in Cleveland, if you own a single-family home, the owner should pay the water. Why? Because the water company can actually foreclose on your house. So if the tenant doesn't pay the water bill, the water company can actually take your house, which is crazy. So normally what's a better idea in cities like that is the owner pays for the water and then the tenants would reimburse it. You would send that bill to them and the tenants would actually pay you for the water. With a duplex, you just include it in the rent. Okay? So water is included in the rent. This is a variable cost, so it's hard to figure out, but $100 is a pretty safe amount. I'm very conservative with my numbers. So if my average water and sewer bill is, say, $85, I'm just going to round up to $100 just to be safe. Lawn care, okay, have to keep the lawns pristine, otherwise the city of Cleveland will fine me, and so no sense in risking that. So that usually costs about $30 a cut, and we do about 3 cuts a month in the high season, 0 cuts during the winter. Once again, I'm conservative with my numbers, so the most I will probably ever have to pay in a month is $90. My insurance works out to about $47 a month. I'm setting aside $60 for vacancy, $200 for capex, and $60 for maintenance. Like I said, the rent total is $1,175. That means I have a cash flow of $41.65. So as you see, that's not very much, but that includes this number right here. This number comes from the rent. So this number is paying down my principal. This number is paying for the duplex. So even though I'm only cash flowing $41.65, eventually this $458.85 will move down here and I will be cash flowing $41.65 plus $458.85, so closer to $500, kind of like my condo. Once again, if I remove the hard numbers, which is the $260.60, I will end up with $361.65 every month. Now, why are these numbers lower and this number higher than this one? Because this rent is higher, and so if it goes vacant, I need more money to cover the rents versus this particular duplex. I have 2 units, so if one of them goes vacant, I don't need as much money to cover the rents. However, here, this is a condo. I don't have to cover the roof. I don't have to cover some of the plumbing. There's certain things I don't have to cover. The outside balcony had to get replaced. That came out of the HOA fees. Okay, so my CapEx expenditures in a condo are way more controlled. They're way more predictable and they're lower, which is actually what I love about having a condo. A lot of investors don't like condos, but I love this about having a condo. So with this particular property, I have to save up for a roof, and that's a big expense. Maintenance, I have it at $60 as well because it's just cheaper to do things in Cleveland. Let's just put it that way. Okay, so this is the remaining balance of my mortgage. Sorry, I didn't go over that on the condo. And this is the remaining balance of my mortgage on this property here in Cleveland. I purchased this first one in Gardena for $210,000. It's a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath. This is a duplex. Each unit is 2-bedroom, 1 bath, and I purchased it for $51,000. I know, it's gone up in price. We'll go over that on another video. Okay, these 3 properties are also all duplexes in Cleveland. Okay, this one is I call it my Frankenstein house. It's a mess. It's a total mess. I'm finishing up one of the rehabs upstairs, but let's just look at the numbers real quick. These 3 numbers, if you notice, 235, 235, 235, I don't have mortgages on any of these properties. However, I do have a HELOC, which is a home equity line of credit, which basically means I have money that I can borrow. It's basically like a credit card, but it's a line of credit, okay? So I can tap into that money and use it, and then I'm paying it like a credit card. It's not like a mortgage, okay? We could do a whole nother video about that some other time, but I have a HELOC, and I have a balance on that HELOC because that HELOC has paid for the purchase of some of these properties. That HELOC has paid for the rehab of all of these properties because I've had to do a lot of work to some of these things, even though I didn't think I was going to have to. Once again, we'll go into that another time. So right now I'm paying $700 a month on the HELOC just because that's the number I came up with to pay it off in 6 years. Obviously, if you add this up, 2, 4, 6, $705 is what that is. And so I just split it over the 3 properties just for fun, okay? Property management, $75, $80, $67. Once again, that's 10% of the rents, okay? So those are the rents. Taxes, $81 a month, $99 a month, and $86 a month. All of these I pay twice a year, but if I took it and took the expense of the taxes, this would be the monthly cost, okay? Utilities, 120, 110, and 95. These, once again, are conservative numbers. Based on the track record I've had so far, this would be the most I'd ever pay in a month. Lawn, the same thing, $30 a cut. The most I'd ever cut is 3 times a month. Some months, 0. But I'm just going with the 90 because that's going to be the most expensive month. My insurance is they're all about the same, right? I got the same exact insurance plan for all of them. It's about $47 a month each. And then I did the same thing here with the 60, 260 as I did with this property for the same reasons, okay? Right now, these are all duplexes, but right now this one, I have 1 unit rented at $750, and the upstairs unit is vacant right now. The rehab was supposed to be finished today, okay? So I had to finish a bunch of work on there, so it should be ready to get marketed probably next week. And so fingers crossed I'll get a tenant soon, and I'll start getting a lot more rent. Because I have 1 empty unit, I'm actually negative cash flowing $218 a month on this particular property. That is with the $235 up here. Okay? And with the hard numbers, when I subtract this $320, I'm actually collecting $102 a month after servicing my debt. Okay? This property here has been completely rehabbed. It's my nicest property and probably one of my best, probably the best location, and it's probably my best property in Cleveland. I have both tenants. I mean, both units are full, and they were both paying $800 a month, which was great. But the downstairs unit stopped paying. So the downstairs tenant, I'm in the process of evicting. It's going to be my first eviction. So I'll tell you about how all that goes. So for the last couple months, I've only been collecting $800 a month. Okay, so this was cash flowing great because here's the thing. When that other person was paying $800 as well, this number was $1,600, and the only number that really changed, okay, was my property management also went up by $80. So as you can see, instead of negative 181, I would have a positive 700 if, or 650 if this was fully rented. So you can see where vacancy kills you. Once again, if I take out the CapEx and the maintenance and vacancy costs, which is vacant right now, so I'm paying for it anyway, my actual take home is $320. Okay, so it's actually my actual take home is $139. $320 is what I'm taking out from those set aside monies, and so I'm actually taking home $139. But that's also looking at the fact that I'm paying off the HELOC as well as part of this. And then my last property, this is a property that also has 2 units, All these properties are 2-bedroom, one bath. This one was also fully rehabbed, and I just had a tenant move out a couple months ago. So the upstairs tenant is paying $675, and the downstairs unit is being marketed as we speak. I believe it's going up today. It's going live today. So we fixed it all up again, took some good pictures. The old tenant was a mess, so we had to do a lot of pest control. And so that should be going up marketing. I'm hoping to get $700 a month for it. We'll see what happens. So right now, this is negative cash flowing $265.50. Once again, if I take out the savings and reserve numbers, I'm actually collecting $54.50 a month right now. As soon as I rent out that other unit, though, you can see where my cash flow will jump up to $400 to $500. So vacancy right now is what's killing me, because all 3 of these units have only one paying unit. 2 of them are empty, and then 1 of them is in the process of eviction. Okay? My total rents right now are $5,710. When these numbers all go up, okay, so let's say I get this place rented out. Let's say this one I get another $1,800. And let's say this place I actually get my $700. So that would be $1,375. Okay, and let's say this I actually get my increase to $2,450. Okay, so if you look at my rents, if this gets increased in a month, and in another month, if all these get filled at these prices, all of a sudden, I'm cash flowing $434, $619, $532, $692, and my hard numbers, my total cash flow is $2,319.15. My total input is $8,100 in rentals. And that hard number that I'm talking about, when I have my reserves built up, would actually be $3,929. So my goal is $4,000 a month on rental income. And as you can see, once I get my reserves built up, I'm actually really close if I get all these problems fixed. Okay. The other thing is I'm trying to refinance this main loan here of 136 and my HELOC, which I put down here as 34, but it's actually higher right now. So I'm trying to pay off all those loans together. If I do that, these numbers will also go away, because this will remain about 1,100, okay? And these numbers will go away. And so at that point, I will add another $700 a month to my cash flow, which, if you notice, will get me above $4,000 if I have my reserves. So those are my 5 properties. They have cost me more than I planned because they've taken some more work, and I've run into a lot of hiccups and headaches. Okay, the one that has my first 2 have been the most performing. I've had no major problems. I've had the tenants from the day I bought them, and they're still in there. The other 3 have been my problem properties because I dealt with a problem person. Once again, major mistakes. I'm going to have a video all about that, but just wanted to go over basically what I'm working with my 5 rental properties right now, 4 duplexes in Cleveland and 1 condo in Gardena, California. That's it, folks. If you want to find out all the mistakes I made doing this, if you want to find out if I did get those tenants and what the rents are going to be, if you want to find out how my dividend stocks are going, if you want to find out how my reserves are building up, if you want to find out how I'm doing on my journey to financial independence, please subscribe. Also, if you find this video or any of these videos useful or helpful at all, go ahead and like. All the YouTubers who are successful say that's what you're supposed to do. I'm hoping to be successful, so hey, I'll tell you to do it, because why not? Thanks for watching, and hope to see you again soon. Have a great day and stay safe.